Hey gang, your old pal Clay here, Mountain Music Exchange, and today we're going to do a little bit of a follow-up on the American Ultra series. I had mentioned wanting to do one on the HSS model, so without further ado, let's get started. This is the American Ultra 2 HSS Stratocaster. It's shameless. Like and subscribe plug. If you like the videos on the channel and you want to see more content, or you want to see us sort of grow and have better production value, that sort of thing, give us a like and give us a subscribe. Leave a comment below letting us know what we could do to maybe improve or what you like about the videos. Now, with that, let's get on to the guitar. We're going to go top to bottom on this, but before I do that, just a few glaring differences here that sort of stand out from the last video that we did. This one is a beautiful, vibrant color called Solar Flare, and it's a very interesting color. Like out there on the sales floor with different lighting, it almost sort of, I'm turning this a lot, by the way, just so you'll maybe get an idea of the color, how it sort of shifts, how it sort of changes, right? It's sort of in here right now has this sort of greenish vibe to my eyes anyway. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe you can leave me a comment below telling me as much. But it's sort of got this greenish look here, but out there and in different lights, it's sort of got this gold vibe to it as well. I'd like to know your thoughts on that for sure, one way or the other, whether I'm crazy or whether I'm totally right, or there's some science behind the color that you know that I don't know. Let me know. All right, anyway, black anodized pick guard. Again, I talked in the last video, the anodized pick guards. I love anodized pick guards on Stratocasters. This black is not only no exception, but I think is superior. I love this black anodized pickguard. I think it just looks great on the guitar. The biggest glaring difference here is your Haymaker humbucker in the bridge position instead of your new gen noiseless pickups, but you still do have two of those here in the neck and middle. Your S1 switch does something a little different. I think it's probably pretty obvious to most of us who have been in the guitar spectrum for a little while, but the S1 switch will now act as sort of a coil split to make this a single coil rather than a humbucker, so you can still get a very traditional Stratocaster bridge sound. And this one, visually, from the last one that we had, does have a maple fingerboard. You still have those super cool glow-in-the-dark inlays here on the side. You have, they call it ultra rolled edges here on the fingerboard, because everything is Ultra and nothing less with the Ultra Fender series guitars, right? Standard Fender headstock here with this cool sort of foil logo here. Those go all the way sort of back to the deluxe era guitars. And by the way, this guitar is $2249 out of the box. You have locking tuners, of course. At the very, very top, you go down here, you have a sort of a D-shaped slim neck, so it is thinner than your average Fender neck. This one actually maybe feels a bit thinner than the last example that I did a video on. And you also have these cool black perloid inlays here. I'll try to get you as best I can a shot of those to sort of show you that they're not just black dots. There's a little bit of texture and a little bit of depth to them as well. Fingerboard here, maple of course as well, and the fingerboard here is asymmetrical, starts out at 10-inch radius here. As you move up the register, you get up to 14. That will let you chord well here. And as it flattens out here, you can do sort of supreme bends here. Now, again, aside from the color, you also still do have this really, really just a cool, this sort of comfort type cutaway here that sort of goes upward and inward. And it makes the joint where the neck meets the body a little thinner here. It also rounds off compared to your sort of regular run-of-the-mill Stratocaster, which is, you know, 4 bolts, rectangular, and it allows for pretty easy access. You can see I have pretty small hands, but they get pretty well up the register about as easily as you could ask for a Stratocaster. It adds to the playability, it adds to the ability to sort of, you know, if you wanted to take and shred with this guitar, you totally can do that. Then you still, of course, we talked about the pickups. You still have your standard tone controls here, volume, tone, tone with the S1 switch being the split for the bridge coil here, and standard 5-way switch here as well. A really, just a cool, I love the saddles on these. They've gone back all the way, you know, to the deluxe style saddles, which always had these sort of bent steel saddles, the way they were rolled here, and these like higher mass saddles. They just look cool. it's something you can kind of look at and just tell, like, this is not your standard run-of-the-mill Strat, right? 2-point bridge here. Very flexible bridge. I think it's pretty cool. I'll show you that later. I don't have the bar installed. It is a pop-in bar, but you can take, like, even with your fingers and do some cool light vibrato with it, and it'll dive pretty good. Factory strap buttons here, meaning that factory strap locks will come with the guitar, as well as having this sort of comfort area here that sort of allows some access and playability. You do have an anodized back plate as well, which I think is just really cool. Neat. Fun. It's a good guitar. I really like it. It does come with the sort of standard Fender USA, like the molded plastic hard case, you know, with all the case candy and the fixings in there. So, you know, it's going to be a rugged case. You're going to be able to kind of put it through its paces. It's not going to, you're not going to have to worry about like the Tolex peeling off the case later or anything like that. It may get a little scuffed depending on how much you travel with it, but ultimately not too bad. This humbucker is called the Haymaker, and Fender describes it as a high heat humbucker. So we are going to test that, and what better time to do that than right now, gang. I'm going to be using a Line 6 Helix, and we're going to be using sort of like a Fender Deluxe type model, and we're also going to be using, of course, the Brit 2203 model in there as well, which is like a JCM 800 style, and that will give you an idea of what this guitar sort of handles as far as clean tones, as far as dirty tones, things of that nature. So without further ado, gang, let's get started. All right, gang, this has been the American Ultra 2 Stratocaster. I really like it. The color is tops for me. Any, crazy wild colors always pop out on guitars. I like colors and stains or finishes that sort of make the guitar the focal point of the player, so if you're wearing like dark clothing, or even in this case, you can wear whatever color clothing you want, this guitar is going to stand out, and it's going to just keep eyes on the guitar, which I think is a cool focus if you're on stage or, a video or something like that, right? I really like the way this guitar plays. I do think the high heat humbucker, the haymaker sounds really, really good. And it splits very well too, I noticed. I noticed it split and really sounded like a single coil. Some guitars won't do that. Some guitars, you split them and they sound like this sort of, almost like a caricature, or the mid-range is weird, or in some way it doesn't sound exactly like a single coil. I think this one does sound much more like a single coil than your average split humbucker. And that's it, gang. It's a cool guitar. Check it out online, mountainmusicexchange.com. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, here on the channel at YouTube, where you can see long form videos like this, and also see some really cool Haas shorts. He just did one as I will dub him Shreddy Krueger for Halloween, that I think is really funny. So check that out, and check us out on TikTok, where he is king. Gang, that's going to have us for this one. I'm Clay. You rock. And wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, make it loud. See you, gang.